It is a great day in Indianapolis. My name is Chris Gall with Visit Indy. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this special announcement. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll have just 4 speakers. So to kick things off, please help me welcome the 49th Mayor of the great city of Indianapolis, the Honorable Joe Hogsett. We'll have just 4 speakers. So to kick things off, please help me welcome the 49th Mayor of the great city of Indianapolis, the Honorable Joe Hogsett. We'll have just
on behalf of the city of Indianapolis, obviously welcome to Lucas Oil Stadium. This truly is an extraordinary place for our city. On behalf of the city of Indianapolis, since its opening in 2008, this venue has hosted this truly is an extraordinary place for our city. On behalf of the city of Indianapolis, and some of our city and largest conventions, such as Gen Con, just days ago, the National FFA gathering. It's hosted NCAA men's basketball games, including just days Final Fours, women's championships, and an additional 6 Big Ten football championships. And who could forget the Super Bowl? Without a doubt, Lucas Oil Stadium has hosted some of the greatest spectacles in the world. And just within the last hour, we've secured yet another major one. I am proud to announce the city of Indianapolis has been awarded the 2022 College Football Playoff National Championship game. This is truly significant news for the city of Indianapolis, as our whole community stands to benefit. Television cameras will keep us on the national stage, our hotels will be packed with visitors, and our restaurants will be bustling with hungry fans. And some of those visitors might be business leaders of their own, and they'll recognize Indianapolis as the ideal place to open a business or to host a convention. This is not just wishful speculation. In fact, based on previous host cities, more than $150 million in economic impact will be generated for our great city. But moreover, in the weeks surrounding this major sporting event, countless volunteers will step into our neighborhoods, school classrooms, and nonprofit centers to help leave a positive footprint in our community. And this will also ensure the more than 78,000 residents in our local hospitality industry will continue to earn that valued paycheck. Indeed, the impact of the College Football Playoff National Championship will be much more than a 60-minute football game. And for all the benefits to come, I'd like to thank personally Visit Indy, the Indiana Sports Corp, the Capital Improvement Board, for once again partnering to put Indianapolis in the winner's circle. I look forward to 2022 as a fan. And I look forward to again welcoming the world to Indianapolis. Thank you all very much.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor. As a fan, thank you, Mayor Hogsett. Our next speaker is a long-standing community architect for our city, a civic leader who has dedicated thousands of hours over 3 decades to help Indy race onto the international stage as the premier sporting city. A leader who has established the Indiana Sports Corps, the largest and first sports commission in the nation. He was instrumental in bringing the Pan American Games to Indianapolis in 1987, an event often considered the tipping point in our city's sports strategy. He is past chairman of the board for the Indiana Sports Corps. He is the current chairman of the board for Visit Indy, and he is our team leader, scoring today's touchdown, the engineer of this winning bid. Please help me welcome Mr. Michael Browning.
Thank you. So many friendly faces. This is good because if I botch it up, I won't get too much slack here. So, thank you very much, Mayor Hogsett. His unwavering leadership is so important to the efforts that we put forth as a community. This is exciting. This is Lucas Oil Stadium, the finest football stadium in the world. This is our own Indy car, and you know, Barney, this was your one and only chance to open the roof, and you blew it. This historic public-private partnership of Indianapolis, it never ceases to amaze me. And once again, we exceed expectations. Our guy Joe, in our Oval Office, gives us all a high degree of confidence to work hard on all things Indianapolis. We are here today to celebrate. To be asked by the College Football Playoff Committee to host the national championship football game validates once again that our expectations and execution of these high-profile gatherings and Hoosier hospitality are recognized across the spectrum by professionals everywhere who manage these elite events. Over the last 3 decades, our city's sports strategy has brought in millions of visitors, billions of dollars, and priceless hours of media coverage that recognizes Indianapolis as a wonderful city to host tourists, meeting guests, and fans. This type of positive media coverage has helped Indy become USA Today's #1 convention city. Now, who would have thought that 30 years ago? This strategy has also helped attract amateur sports governing bodies, including the NCAA, that are now part of the foundation of our community. As we host this championship, we will look again to our very successful Indy playbook to guide us. More than 30 years ago, our community embarked on a sports economic development strategy. We were confident that we could host other major sporting events based on our successful experience hosting the world's largest single-day sporting event, our own Indianapolis 500. This opportunity materialized less than 6 weeks ago to host this national championship. When we were invited, and I want to emphasize to you that this was not a bid. The invitation's only requirement was that we accept the invitation immediately and confirm literally hundreds of logistical arrangements that they needed by October 25th. They included a convention center agreement, a Lucas Oil Stadium agreement, contracts for some 8,000 plus hotel rooms, hospitality opportunities, parking details, media details, and the list goes on. We usually have at least 6 months when we bid on these types of events, and most times longer. When we were asked just a week later if this was acceptable, we gave an unequivocal yes. Now, I will admit to a prayer or two after that call. And I was at Notre Dame the following weekend, and I was walking around and saw this big iconic bust of Newt Rockne, and I was reminded of something that Coach had said, and it made me feel better. He said, "I've found that prayers work best when you have big players." Well, I'm here to tell you that we have big players and we have all-star players. In addition to Mayor Hogsett, I would like to thank Visit Indy CEO Leonard Hoops and Senior Vice President Susie Townsend for their tireless work. Also on the Indy team, my thanks to the flagship of our sports strategy, the Indiana Sports Corporation, and CEO Ryan Vaughn, who you will hear from in a minute, and its Senior Vice President Susan Baughman for their contributions. Additionally, our success was helped in no small part by the Capital Improvements Board Executive Director Barney Levengood and President Melina Kennedy, as well as Lucas Oil Stadium's Director Eric Newberger. A special thanks also goes to the Indianapolis Colts and their Chief Operating Officer, Pete Ward. The Colts are incredible community partners, and we could not have put this together without them. In anticipation of completing our agreement for this premier event, we have already formed the host committee executive team for the 2022 National Championships. I do like how that sounds. I am very proud to announce this leadership team. Behind me is Mark Howell, who will be chairman, Vice Chairman Jeff Harrison, and President Susan Baughman. You will hear from Mark in a moment, and I can assure you that this extraordinary leadership team will follow the footsteps of so many local organizing committee leaders that have served this community so well. Our sports strategy has propelled Indy into the city it is today. I've seen my children and now my grandkids benefit from its impact, not just by attending games and by volunteering, but also by living in a city that has grown so dynamically. A city whose tallest building bears the name of one of the world's largest tech companies. A city with a thriving arts, cultural, and food scene. A city with an amazing quality of life. Hosting this national championship is more than a game. It will help continue to build our community. It is a point of pride to have been a part of this team and to help bring this event to Indy. But in truth, the collective Indianapolis community should all feel the same way. Without all of you, we would not have been asked. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you again, Michael, for leading us. Our next speaker currently serves as Chief Operating Officer for one of the city's largest companies, Angie's List. He has also served as the interim CEO for the company. Prior to Angie's List, he served as president of Brightpoint. He's a CPA, so he spent some time at Ernst & Young. He's a Notre Dame graduate, so he's no stranger to football. They might even be playing here in 2022. Now taking on the role as chairman for the College Football Playoff Local Host Committee, please help me welcome Mr. Mark Howell.
I want to thank the mayor and Michael Browning. It's a huge honor for me, and I gladly accept to serve as chairman of the College Football Playoff Host Committee here for the city of Indianapolis. And this is a huge win for us, and that cannot be underestimated. And we are going to put on and create an incredibly awesome show in 2022. As Michael mentioned, our city's success in forming these volunteer-driven local host communities has made us a city where for more than 30 years, champions have been crowned here. And now we can take all of those learnings, and especially what we can draw from the 2012 Super Bowl, and put that in place as we move forward. And I can assure you that this is going to be a lot more than just football inside this stadium. We're going to have a fan festival inside the Indiana Convention Center. There's going to be a music festival, food events, and plenty of championship tailgating in our city. As you can imagine, it's going to take a lot of people to make this happen. And we're going to attract more than 1,000 people from our community to come together and provide their time and their expertise and their passions over the next 4 years to plan and then execute this big event. And as the mayor said, and as Michael reiterated, it is critically important, and it is a major goal of this, that the impact of this event on our community goes well beyond just the football that's going to be played for 60 minutes on this field. I'm fortunate, very fortunate, to have a team of talented individuals to help lead this major effort, and I want to more formally introduce two additional leaders on the host committee. The first is Jeffrey Harrison. Jeff is the CEO and president of Citizens Energy Group. He's a tireless and active member of our community in terms of his civic work. He's on the board of the Center for Leadership Development. He participates in the Greater Indianapolis Progress Committee. He's on the board of Goodwill. And incredibly, genuinely, one of the busiest people I know, is so committed to those organizations for which he's involved, and I'm honored that he accepted to participate in this. Jeff is a graduate of Rose-Hulman. He also earned his MBA at Indiana University. So thank you, Jeff. Also leading this effort is Susan Baughman. Susan has more than 20 years tenure at the Indiana Sports Corp, and she's going to serve as the president of the College Football Playoff Host Committee. Susan's been intimately involved in the biggest, most successful sporting events in Indianapolis during her tenure. To put that in perspective, she was involved in 8 NCAA men's Final Four championships here, involved with putting on the Super Bowl and numerous other world-class sporting events. And we're very fortunate to gain all of that energy, all of that experience, and all of that expertise on our team. One thing that I want to specifically mention about Susan is it was really her vision and her leadership that got Team Indy to this point. All of those things that Michael mentioned that had to get done in that short time frame, Susan was responsible for executing on that. And it's so much because of her that we have won the right to host this premier event, and that continued leadership is invaluable to our committee going forward. So with that, I want to again thank the mayor, thank Michael, thank Ryan for his support and for this opportunity. I look forward to the excitement of engaging our entire broad community in planning and executing what will be an absolutely awesome college football championship event in Indianapolis in 2020. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mark, again for your leadership. Our next speaker has served as president of the City County Council here in Indianapolis. He's also served as former chief of staff for our mayor, Greg Ballard, who is here with us today. He's been at the helm of the Sports Corps as president for the last 2 years. Help me welcome Ryan Vaughn.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is really exciting. Thank you, Chris. I want to start by just acknowledging and thanking the chairman of the Indiana Sports Corp Board, Scott Dorsey. Whenever I walk around town and talk to people that used to work for Scott Dorsey, the first thing they want to talk to me about is how cool it is to work for Scott Dorsey. And I got to say, all of that is very true. So we appreciate your continued leadership and mentorship of the Indiana Sports Corp. It's very important, and thank you. On the topic of board members, I can't help but also extending a thank you to Michael Browning. It's really a unique and special thing to lead an organization like the Indiana Sports Corp and have board members like Michael who started this sports charity 30 years ago, still as part of our board and still willing to step up and take leadership roles in bringing these premier sporting events to town. It's important to the continuity of the sports strategy, and it's made all the difference as we can see today. So thank you, Michael. Mr. Mayor, without question, the large part of the success of the Indy sports strategy has been the commitment of Indy mayors over time to the importance of sports in Indy, not only as a driver of economic development, but also as a way of building community and civic pride. I'm grateful for your commitment and your leadership, and especially grateful for your faith in us to execute that mission. So thank you, sir. The College Football Playoff National Championship is a phenomenal sports event, and it will have tremendous impact on our community. The championship weekend will clearly deliver on the vision of creating a vibrant and active downtown. All of us should feel very, very good about the fact that when the College Football Playoff Selection Committee scanned the horizon across the country to find a city to host their championship event, that it landed in Indy. Indy is a first-class city. Our lauded stadium, our walkable downtown, our connected hotels, the #1 airport in North America are all testament to that fact. As a community, we have a proven track record of hosting over 450 international and national sporting events in our great history. Fans, convention goers, and businesses alike have all come to appreciate Indy as a vibrant and welcoming city, which has earned the reputation as the city where champions are crowned. Yet, what helps Indy stand out, really, amongst the competition, is that special ingredient that has been at the heart of our strategy for over 30 years. It's our residents. It's our volunteers. The men and women who sign up to help welcome our visitors and showcase that Hoosier hospitality is far more than just a catchphrase. Our volunteers wake up early to greet arriving visitors at the airport for the U.S. Olympic diving trials. They staff information desks outside of hotels during Big Ten football and basketball championships. Our volunteers donate time to open doors and greet kids participating in the NCAA clinics for men's and women's Final Four. You can't put a value on that type of community service and that kind of uplift it gives our city. It can be seen and it can be felt, and I can tell you that is the issue I hear about the most from people who come and visit our great community. And while the people on this stage worked very hard to bring this event to Indy, it's the people who are watching this press conference, those willing to volunteer their time and represent our community, that will make all the difference on the national championship game day. And that's why today we are inviting the community to again be our ambassadors to the world by volunteering for the College Football National Playoff Championship. Signing up is just a click away. So please log on to www.wherechampionsAreCrowned.com and register for more information and volunteer opportunities. For more than 30 years, Indy has served as that city where champions are crowned. We've hosted student athletes, international athletes, Olympians, national competitors, amateurs and professionals alike, and all of them have been crowned champions right here. We very much look forward to extending that same opportunity to our newest guest, the College Football Playoff. On a personal note, while serving our city in public office, I greatly admired the mission and work of the Indiana Sports Corp. And over the last 3 years serving as president, I've come to appreciate even more the dedication and hard work required to succeed in that mission. None of this happens without an extraordinary team. And the team at ISC is one of the hardest working and most professional I've ever been a part of. So from me to you all, thank you very much. Mayor Hogsett, Michael, Leonard, Scott, Jeff, Mark, my teammate Susan, thank you for your work, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for getting Team Indy back in the pole position. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Ryan. Well, this concludes our press conference. A couple notes. Social media, hashtag Indy 2022, hashtag Indy Playoff Perfect. We'd like for you to use those too. Could we please have the first two rows make a semicircle around the car here. We're going to do a photo op for our media and for our fans. So if you could too, first 2 rows, please come and crowd in around our famed Indy car. Media one-on-one interviews will be available after the photo right here at the base of the podium. But let's hear it again for Team Indy pole position. Thank you.